Welcome, I'm Sean Sposato, and this is Inside the Magic's Ultimate Attraction Showdown, where we take a look at some of the world's greatest attractions and stack them against each other head to head. Before we get started today, let's take a look at what you guys thought of last week's episode. On today's episode, it's going to be an epic battle of Walt Disney's classic boat rides, Pirates of the Caribbean against Splash Mountain. We're comparing an adventure that inspired a blockbuster movie franchise alongside a thrilling journey that ends in a great splash. Why this comparison? Recently, Disney has announced changes to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and in honor of this new update, we decided this week to take a look at the attraction and the similar Splash Mountain ride. These are both classic Disney boat rides that feature drops, thrills, and other elements that leave guests filled with delight from memorable, well-themed music and lifelike animatronics. Additionally, both of these attractions are known to leave visitors a little wet after. In this showdown, we assess each ride based on 5 categories: story, queue, visuals, thrills, and immersiveness, and we rate each category up to 5 points. And in the end, whichever attraction has the most points is the showdown winner. Let's start this showdown with a ride that features an animatronic that resembles a major movie star. Pirates of the Caribbean is a dark ride attraction that can be found at Disneyland, the Magic Kingdom, Tokyo Disneyland, Disneyland Park in Paris, and Shanghai Disney Resort. The original version was first built at Disneyland back in 1967. This was also the last attraction whose construction was overseen by Walt Disney himself. This ride lets guests set sail on a swashbuckling voyage to a long-forgotten time and place when pirates and privateers ruled the seas. The ride is full of animatronics, a drop, and explosions that really take guests back in time to an age full of plundering and pillaging. Wander a meandering alleyway within a Spanish fortress and board a small barge for a spellbinding high-seas adventure. Escape through a shadowy grotto, past the ghostly catacombs of fallen pirates, and swoop down a small rushing waterfall. I give it a 4. This story is very compelling. Although, with the additions of some of the Pirates movie elements, the ride has lost some of this historical ambiance, as the attraction is now partially themed to the successful film series, which does take away from the significance of the true history of pirates. The queue. This queue has guests enter into a Spanish fortress where you get to take in elements of the attraction's times: boat sails, treasure chests, cannons with ammunitions, and barred cells for prisoners. I give this queue a 5. As you walk through this queue, you really feel like you're getting ready to set sail on an epic pirate adventure. With all of the queue's props and decorations, the feeling of the times of pirate life really compel you. As you depart on this adventure, you are immediately plunged onto the 7 seas. Then you are taken into the old world, where you experience lifelike animatronics, incredibly well decorated sets, and scenes. I give this ride a 4. The visuals are incredibly well detailed. I wouldn't know how to better imagine scenes of pirate battles. The attraction could, however, use more advanced projections and animations. If you compare this ride to Shanghai Disney Resort's version, you would find that this attraction is definitely falling behind. Thrills. This boat attraction kicks off by going through dark catacombs of fallen pirates, which definitely leaves you with a spooky, foreboding feeling. Then the ride moves into a plummet down a small fall that ends in a pretty nice splash. This is when you move into the real part of the ride, where you get to experience the captivating scenes that take you back to the age of pirates. I give the ride's thrills a 3. This ride's thrills are not the most exciting. If the ride maybe contained another plunge or 2, it would make for a much more thrilling voyage. Immersiveness. This ride captivates all of your senses with visuals, explosions, music, and many other elements that make for a very immersive experience. I give this ride a 5. With Yo Ho Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me playing in the background of this already absorbing journey, you cannot help but be fully transported from Magic Kingdom and into another time in history. Pirates of the Caribbean may take you on a journey full of villainous activities on the high seas, but Splash Mountain will have you plunging down a 5-story waterfall. Splash Mountain is a log flume dark ride that can be found at Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, and Tokyo Disneyland. The ride was based on the characters, stories, and songs from the 1946 Disney film Song of the South. This ride takes guests on a rollicking log flume ride along a colorful bayou that features animatronic singing critters and exciting dips. What has to be the strongest draw to this ride, though, would have to be how it ends, in an epic 5-story splashdown. Hop inside a hollowed-out log and gently drift past rocky caves, vine-strewn swamps, and sun-drenched meadows as you accompany happy-go-lucky Brer Rabbit from his home in the Briar Patch on search for his laughing place. But be warned, Brer Bear and Brer Fox are in hot pursuit of the roaming rabbit, and they'll do anything they can to catch him. I give this story a 4. When writing this ride, I will say that it is a pretty present story. Throughout the attraction, the scenes and animatronics make you feel like you're on a journey with Brer Rabbit. The queue of this ride is jam-packed with a bunch of different elements for guests to enjoy on their way to the ride. Butter churns, wheelbarrows, crate boxes, artwork, and so many other components make up this ride's queue, and all of them come together to make a pretty well decorated line. All of these elements are also well themed to follow suit of the ride. I give this queue a 4. The majority of this queue is outside, so during the summer when the park is crowded and hot, it definitely makes the feeling of the wait time seem much longer. And overall, at times it does make for a very unpleasant queue experience. In regard to the ride's elements, I do think they are great, but I don't think they make you feel like you're necessarily being transported to the world of Briar Patch. Visuals. During the ride, you take in a vast amount of animatronics. In fact, you can't go more than a few feet without being greeted by another animatronic animal or creature. The set and scene decorations are also really well done. They are all very vivid and vibrant. I give this ride's visuals a 4. This ride's animatronics are pretty great, but I would like to see maybe an update with projection faces or some other type of advancement to bring the ride to a more current standard of technology. One ride specifically that has outstanding animatronics and visuals is Epcot's Frozen Ever After. Thrills. This attraction is extremely thrilling. With this ride's 3 separate dips, you will find yourself screaming in excitement throughout the ride. And then the ride ends up with a massive 5-story waterfall that leaves you completely soaked if you're sitting in the front. I give this ride's thrills a solid 5. Immersiveness. With the combination of this ride's queue, massive amount of animatronics, and vibrant visuals, this attraction really makes you feel like you're journeying along with Brer Rabbit on his journey to his laughing place. I give this ride a 4. I think with minor technological improvements, the ride's animatronics could become more lifelike, which overall would make for an even more immersive experience. Now that we've dived in deep with our Ultimate Attraction Showdown, let's see which ride comes out on top. Pirates of the Caribbean gets a 4 in story, 5 in queue, 4 in visuals, 3 in thrills, and a 5 in immersiveness. Splash Mountain comes in with a 4 in story, 4 in queue, 4 in visuals, 5 in thrills, and a 4 in immersiveness. Both rides come in with a grand total of 21. So this was a hard toss-up. After scoring each category, we have found ourselves at a tie. Each attraction has strengths and weaknesses in different areas that in the end caused both of these rides to score the same. But of course, this is a showdown after all, and because of that, it's time for an epic tiebreaker. When looking at these attractions, they both have a great amount of historical significance, with each of them existing at Walt Disney World for years. You can even find versions of each ride at Disney parks around the world. Although Pirates of the Caribbean is one of Disney's staple attractions, this ride has been popular enough to stay in Disney parks for 50 years. The ride has even gone on to inspire a blockbuster movie franchise that just recently released its 4th iteration. So because of this, Pirates of the Caribbean is the winner. Splash Mountain is an amazing ride that is full of awesome animatronics, vivid and vibrant visuals, and extremely exciting thrills that will have you screaming throughout the entire ride, but unfortunately it does not match Pirates of the Caribbean in its historical significance or influence on pop culture. Well, there you have it. That is it for this edition of Inside the Magic's Ultimate Attraction Showdown. See you guys next time.